We're going to talk about how to write cover letters and also why companies like to have them. So a covering letter gives you a good opportunity to introduce yourself to the employer. It's also the point where you want to tell the employer which job you're applying for and any reference numbers that go with that job application. And also it's where you should be saying which skills and experience that you have relevant to that job that you're applying to. So when you're laying out a cover letter, make sure that you put your address at the top right of the letter. Just underneath your address, put the date that you're writing the letter on. And beneath that, but to the left of the letter, put the address of the employer. Underneath their address, you want to put the reference number of the job that you're applying to, and also a greeting. When we're greeting people, we usually say, "Dear Sir" or "Madam," if we don't know their name. And if we do know their name, we say, "Dear Mr. Bob." So below the greeting, we put the main body of the letter. This is usually broken down into 3 areas, which we're going to go into more detail about in a second. Just below that, you put the salutation, where you say, "Yours faithfully" or "Yours sincerely," depending on whether you know the name of the employer or not. And then sign your name and print it so that they can read it, just in case your signature is not very clear. So when we're writing the address, we have to use separate lines. By this I mean, for example, if we're writing the address 127 The Moor, we'd write that on the first line, as that's the name of the road and the address of the building on that road. Underneath that you put the city, and underneath that you put the postcode. Make sure these are all on separate lines, and you want to use capital letters where you're meant to. So for example, The Moor would both be capitalised, the T and the M. Underneath that, for example, Sheffield will be capitalised, the S, and all letters in the postcode will be capitalised as well. So underneath the addresses, you put the reference number for the job. This is really important because, for example, if there are 2 jobs with very similar titles, you want to differentiate between them with a reference, and often employers will use a reference specifically for that reason. After you put the greeting in the introduction, make sure that the first line says which job you're applying to. You also want to say where you saw the job advertised and also why you're applying to it. Employers often want to know why you want to be in their company. They want to get to know you, and this acts as an introduction to it. You want to explain which key skills and experiences you have for that job. Employers will often want to know this. It'll be in your CV or an application form anyway, but this helps to back up that, helps to reinforce what they've already got. So when you're closing a letter, make sure that you thank the employer and also that you're looking forward to hearing from them soon. So before you send your letter off to the employer, make sure that you proofread it. It's often a good idea to get someone else to read it for you as well, just in case that you miss something. Check your spelling, grammar and punctuation. This can be done with a dictionary. You should also refer back to the job advert in the letter. So in this workshop, we should have learned how to write a cover letter, how to lay it out correctly, and also how to proofread it as well, and make sure that you're not sending it off with any mistakes. If you've got any more questions about this workshop, you can always ask your tutor. You can also find out more information on our website at www.potential4skills.co.uk, and if you've got any questions, you can always email us at info@potential4skills.co.uk. Thank you for listening.